Hey everyone. Okay, so where do I start? Um, Basically, on my door, I've got a massive, well, not massive, it's like that big, and it's a Cornish wheel of the year with a bucker on top of it and a candle on top of his horns. And it looks really, really witchy. It looks really occult, and it looks really cool. And that's something to me that sort of ensures my protection and the protection of this flat against anything. Um, Now, we had some new neighbours move in, and I got a pamphlet through the door basically warning me about the occult and talking about how I should return back to Jesus and, how the occult was damaging, and it was just shit. It was really shit because they just don't know the shit. They don't know about it, but it annoyed me and this got me thinking. It upset me because of that, because I think that in terms of people like that, there is a lot more in the world than your views. The world is a lot more of a complex place. It isn't just black and white, and your view, it's not just your views or nobody else's. People are a lot more complex, as is the world. It's a whole spectrum of colour. People operate differently. People, in terms of religious beliefs, operate differently, and each path works for each different person. But what upset me a lot is I feel, in terms of those leaflets, they set up a bad name for liberal Christians, for just normal everyday Christians who try to live their life. Now, recently I've seen a lot of shit against Christianity, and I feel this video should be made. And I think it's about time that people actually realised that not every Christian is fundamentalist. Not every Christian is out to get you. Not every Christian is out to convert you. Not every Christian is out to protest against gay pride. Not every Christian is like that. And sure, there are certain areas in certain countries where you live under a Bible Belt, and that must be fucking awful. That must be bad. But the majority of Christians in the world are liberal, are not fundamentalist. The majority of Christians in the world don't give a shit. They don't give a shit if someone's pagan. They don't give a fuck if someone's a witch. They don't care if someone is gay. They just don't care. They want to live their life. They want to help people out, others out as much as they can, because that's what Jesus taught. Jesus preached love, and that's what they base their life off of. And that's fine. There is nothing wrong with that, and there is nothing that permits you or anybody else to persecute someone for what they believe, because you can't cure hate with hate. You can't. You can't do it. You need to go outside the box. You need to realise, when you get shit from fundamentalist Christians, not every Christian is like that. And Christianity, in concept, is actually quite a nice belief. There is nothing wrong with Christianity, when it comes down to it. And I feel there's a lot of people that slate it down, and it's not fair. It's as I said, the majority of Christians don't give a shit. They don't care if you're pagan or a witch, or if you fucking worship Beelzebub or anything like that. Or if you're Hindu, or if you fucking they don't care. They don't give a shit. And I think a lot of pagans need to realise that recently, and a lot of pagans are like, ooh, Christianity. It's like, why do you even care? Like, what's the biggie about it? Why do you even care? It doesn't affect you, does it? Like, the belief itself doesn't affect you. It doesn't hurt you. As I said, it only hurts you if it's fundamental Christianity, but it's then that you have to realise these people are giving up. Christians a bad name, because not all Christians are like that. And in fact, the people that are fundamental Christians aren't Christian at all, because Christianity is about preaching love. Fundamental Christians do not preach love. Like, there is a lot of shit that goes on, but you can't just start assuming that everybody is going to be like that. I've got really good friends. I've got a lot of close friends who are Christian and obviously know about my practice, and don't care, don't give a shit, because it's a different pathway. It's just a different interpretation of the divine. It's a different interpretation of God, of a Godhead. It's all leads to the same thing. It's just in different branches that we go, but eventually we all lead towards the same concept, the same thing, the same spirit. It all leads to that, all of it. So when you slate off Christianity, you slate off the own thing that you believe, because it is all connected. Now, those are just my personal thoughts and opinions, but being somebody who's got friends who are Christian, I do get offended when I see people slagging off Christianity. I do. It pisses me off, because I feel like a lot of people as well don't really do their research, don't actually know that much about Christianity. They just think, yeah, you just worship Jesus, you just, God made, Jesus was God's son, blah, 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 but this happened, and you follow Jesus and that's it. It's a lot more complex than that. There's a lot more stuff to the actual religion than that, And it just annoys me. It does. And likewise with fundamentalist Christians towards pagans, fuck off. Don't fucking put pamphlets through my door. I don't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? If you put things like that through, I'll send it back. Having a religion is a lot like having a penis. It's fine to have one, it's fine to play with one, just don't shove it in people's faces, because it tends to get a bit fucking too close for comfort. Best quote I've ever heard, but it's true. Yeah, it's just annoying. It is just annoying how people slate down Christianity, but they have this fantasy in their heads that all Christians are some persecution group that are out to get pagans, that are out to get gay people. They're not. And the thing is, you're probably watching this thinking, well, he's never had any shit off of Christians. Well, I have, each year I do a gay pride parade, and I see them, I see them fucking with banners saying you're going to go to hell and all this shit, and, screaming stuff at us, because I'm gay. People have screamed at me in the street because I'm gay. People have knocked at my door and told me I'm wrong and slagged me off. And I've had a lot of shit off of fundamentalist Christians. But again, what I had to bear in mind is not every Christian is like that. And the majority of Christians aren't like that. And that's how it works. The majority of Christians don't give a fuck. And it's true, and that's what you need to keep in mind, and that's what you need to know, and you need to realise when you do have arguments with fundamentalists, not every Christian's like that, and because of their interpretation of Christianity does not shape Christianity as a whole. It doesn't. It's just a small part of it. There's a lot more things that, there's a bigger part of that where people are more liberal, and, there's a lot more to it than fucking people being ignorant and believing only in what they believe in. We're all human beings. We all have different things that we connect to. We all have different things that we go with, and that's fine. If someone's a Hindu, that is fine. That is the way they interpret God, the divine. That is the way they interpret the gods. Someone is pagan, that is absolutely fine. That is the way they connect to the earth. That's the way they connect to the gods. Thus, connecting to a Godhead. Connecting to the gods. If someone is Christian, they worship Jesus. They love Jesus with all their heart, and they go to church and they do their good for other people. That is fine. There is nothing wrong with that. And the majority of that, it's just a different belief. but it all goes to the same thing. It all connects to the same thing. So when you're slating Christianity, you're actually slating down your own God, because it all shapes the same thing. So yeah, I feel I've got that off my chest. I'm probably not going to get I'm not going to get a lot of likes for this. I'll probably get a lot of arguments. But, I just want to say this as well. In terms of Christianity, another thing we need to remember is when we slate down Christianity now, paganism has been revived properly since the 1920s, 1930s, and that's I think it's the woodland folk or the woodcraft folk, I don't know. They're almost like pagan scouts. One of my friends was in them, and he talks about them all the time. But they sound really cool. They worship Jack in the Green as like a Dionysus figure, which sounds awesome. But yeah, paganism's quite young. Now, obviously, because paganism is so old, and there are so many different various types of paganism as well, but because paganism is so old, we don't have much evidence to actually see what they done. A lot of stuff is lost. Obviously, it's going to be because it was so old and so way back when. A lot of the shit is lost. A lot of the stuff's lost. So, of course, modern paganism has been structured around other religions that are modern. In order to revive something, we have to structure it around something. Now, a lot of modern paganism has been shaped off Protestantism, Christianity, and a lot of people will not agree with me, but as I said, because paganism is so old, nobody has any idea what actually properly happened. So, of course, the only thing we have to shape it off is what we have in the modern world. And as I said, a lot of people are going to disagree. But, a lot of paganism is based off, not a lot of modern paganism is based off Protestantism, like Christian belief, because it's too old and we don't know what actually happened because it's so old. There are a lot of concepts in paganism that, are really, really Christian. And if you actually sit there and think about some, there are. As I said, a lot of people, they're not going to agree with me. And I don't care, but what first and foremost I need to get out is I don't hate Christians. I don't hate anybody for what they believe in, because I think that's pathetic. I don't hate a religion. What I hate is people stereotyping and categorizing people into that group of people, and they need to be a lot more open-minded and ignorant, because by doing that, by stereotyping people into one hole, you are being as ignorant as fundamentalist Christians, which is true. Yeah, so over and out, and I'll speak to you somewhat. I know I'll probably lose a few subscribers, or a lot of people won't agree, but I feel this message needs to go out because it's annoying me. So, peace.